Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
Half a day, I'm Clara Calvo, bringing you your weekly renewal. Today I am here with my business partner, my good friend, Jesrae Moylan. Welcome, Jez.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Okay, so there's so many exciting things I want to talk about.
Okay.
First and foremost, this last year, 2024, you hit some pretty incredible milestones and you started a journey in fitness. Can you share with our viewers what exactly that entailed?
Absolutely. So, I was honored when you had asked me 4 years ago maybe to be one of your partners. And at that point, I wasn't really ready
Synergy
Studios, yes. I wasn't really ready to come back and do anything more so for myself, right, in the whole fitness and wellness aspect. And so I believe it was last year when I told all of you that I was like, okay, I think I'm finally ready to come back and start instructing again, and it just so happened that we were bringing Pilates Reformer into the studio.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that looks pretty interesting, and I took the classes, I fell in love with it, and it's funny because that wasn't what I had ever planned to teach coming back.
It never is.
It was, yeah, it was never a thought, nothing. But that was the goal I set for myself last year. So I felt like I accomplished a personal goal, as well as an overall goal being part of Synergy. I'm back to instructing again, and it's wonderful, and it was definitely not easy. I was very humbled by that journey.
But isn't it beautiful how that happens? Like a lot of times you're like, okay, I'm going to plan it this way, and then it's kind of like God, the universe, is like, okay, no, actually, this is how it's going to go.
It's like,
and you're like, okay, you just surrender to what is.
Absolutely, and I had such great support from all of you. I mean, I would call you crying, like, Claire, I don't know how you guys do this, like all the hours, right, that you had to accumulate. But it was, one word I would use, it's definitely humbling, but I'm very proud of myself and proud to be part of bringing that to be here at Synergy. So I love it so much. I'm addicted.
Well, it's all, and yeah, we could tell. Because it's amazing because you stepped into the role, you got certified, and I remember in the very beginning you were a little nervous about it, like,
Absolutely.
oh, I don't know, I haven't taught in so long. And now everyone raves about your classes. Everyone raves about all of the instructors.
Yes.
But I want to talk specifically because there is really this big, Pilates has really taken off on Island. I mean, Pilates has always been around. We've had
Mat
instructors.
Pilates.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've had, no, but also like Pepe, like way back.
Oh, yes.
So it's been around for a while, and but I just feel like this past year or two, it's really exploded. And what do you think it is? What do you think that special element is about Pilates that gets people hooked?
I think it's just, honestly, I think the one thing that we always promote here at Synergy, it's basically your motto that you've instilled in all of us, is we provide a work in as well as a work out. So I feel that the way Pilates is structured is to give you just that. So it's kind of like you come in, yes, you get the physical aspect, which is amazing, but then you also get some type of spiritual connection to yourself. I mean, Pilates involves a lot of breath work, so breath work is also part of the spiritual realm of things, right? So I feel that's what it is. I feel like you just leave feeling great physically, emotionally, mentally, and I feel it's an in-between for people who don't necessarily practice the art of yoga. It's kind of like an in-between where that's how I see it.
Okay. Well, I know you do. It's also a lot of core work. So like physically,
Yes.
it's a full body workout,
is.
right? And it's a lot of, and it's not jarring in any way.
No.
But is there a mental component to it?
I think so, absolutely. I mean, I feel like we've had so many different walks of life step into the studio. You have from athletes to just an everyday business person, and so you really see how Pilates is all about core, right? And I used to think core was, oh my gosh, you have nice abs, you have this and that, but it isn't. It's deeper than that. And you see someone who can physically look their best, but then have a very weak core. And then someone who may not be physically all, from head to toe, aesthetically, there you go, that's the word. But their core is incredible, So I think it's also one of those mental things where you challenge yourself, where you're like, oh, I'm gonna get there, I wanna do this, I wanna do that.
Right.
It really is an everyday kind of motivational thing where...
Thank you for joining us. Join me next week again with Jesrae for part 2 of the series.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.